No, it says James right there. Your sign says James Tucker. Just saying. You're not James. Okay, quorum at 6:04 for the City of Haslet Parks and Recreation Board meeting for June the 11th at 6 p.m. No citizens are present for participation. Items of community interest include the Haslet Public Library Summer Reading Club, which began on June the 2nd and will run through July 31st. So you can sign up to read and win some nice prizes. Please be aware you can sponsor a flag to be placed at the Memorial Garden for the Independence Day time frame. Link here. The Independence celebration will be held on Friday, June 27th at 6 p.m. at the community park. Excellent. We have meeting minutes for March, April, and May. And now I'm curious as to why they're one line item instead of separated out. Would you click on that, for example, 4C? Oh, what? It doesn't matter, I guess. Uh-huh. Okay. Is this the one where we're going to make sure the wording for the go down a little bit to wherever the, is this the one where the mayor spoke? Keep going. I don't know. Why wasn't this approved?
Oh, there it is, isn't it? Oh, no, that's not it.
Okay, keep going. Bungee jump screen, Christmas in the park. Keep going. Officers. Okay, keep going. I'm so confused. Keep going. All right. Sound better? It's still not true because that's not what they said in the meeting.
Okay, well, nobody's sending me a correction. I can't hear him on his voice was not recorded on the meeting, and I have asked for corrections. I've corrected it once. Please tell me what you would like for it to say.
So it's the mayor's stipulation that a professional services agreement be executed. Because at the city council meeting, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe we need to go back and listen to the city council meeting. But they approved the garden. They didn't approve any stipulations. He suggested to us, and we agreed.
Well, I think the professional services agreement is something the city requires of any contractor.
Okay, all right.
And that was something that the lawyer agreed on
Okay, I
at the
see.
meeting.
But
Yes.
the
Right.
evaluation that he talked about was something that he added, the survey.
The
He added
mentioned
the
something
scope
that
of
day.
the
work.
landscape engineer.
There we go. So
Yes.
that's the part that we took
That's the
out
part
of here.
that we need to add in there, is that,
He suggested the landscape engineer.
yes.
Okay.
And when we get to that part, I'm going to make a formal motion for that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we should, instead of we should add that the mayor recommended that we look at a landscape
Yes.
architect.
Yes.
So we got Mayor Holdley provided an update. This item was approved by City Council at the March 3rd, 2025 meeting. Period.
Right.
The mayor
Suggested.
Suggested a landscape.
Right. That's fair.
survey.
a landscape architect, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what else?
I think that's it.
So scratch.
Everything after 2025 meeting, period. And the rest of it should be gone.
Got it. Thank you.
Excellent. And then can we see the 4B attachment? Did you get that note? We're gonna pen that thought, okay. Well, I don't know why we didn't approve it. We tabled it all, but I didn't write why we tabled it. Was it because it was attached to the?
I think that may be why they're listed separately, because the last time they were
Yeah, but
listed.
when I made a note at the last meeting, 4A, 4B, why did we table April 9th? That's what I'm trying to remember. What was on there? Okay, sorry. Will you just scroll down one more time and I'll see if I can pay attention this time? Okay.
Isn't that kind of
Nothing's
what just fixed?
there. Okay, keep going. Order placed, foundation for pavilion, sand court, water bottle, tap trail, Veterans Memorial Garden. Those are just updates. Okay, keep going. I don't know why we wouldn't have approved that. Maybe
Me
we
neither.
just,
Doesn't ring a bell.
something must have been on there because there's zero reason we would have not approved that meeting minute. Anybody else remember?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, okay. And then the May 14th. That was our last one. Trash.
Okay, so there, motion to table.
And I apologize, I seem to have left my May 19th note at home somehow.
Well, it said here motion to table April 25th financial report for because of advanced field project. Did we decide just not do the minutes for the?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to the recording. I don't remember not approving it, but I wrote table, so.
Got me.
Wait, this is May. I'm crazy. I'm sorry to ask this dumb question, but this is for May, right? This is from the May 14th one?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so in May, we approved the minutes, but not the financial reports.
No, we approved the financial, but not the minutes.
We only approved January and February financial, with the exception that the Fund 15 was removed. So we need to still do, I'm sorry, can you go up just one more second? No, go up to 4A. We passed 4A. Okay, wait. 4, C, D, E, and F. Okay, go up again, I'm sorry. A little bit higher. See, I don't know why we tabled the meeting minutes. Do you see how it says table the meeting minutes? I don't
Yeah.
remember. I thought we approved it.
Thought we did too.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Fine. So we tabled the meeting minutes, we tabled the financial report due to error. Okay, keep going. And then the March meeting minutes, C, D, E, and F. We didn't remove C, D, E, and F from the table. Can you go down a little bit? Okay, I have a question, Katrina. If we removed something from the table, we could not have continued to discuss it. So we need to go up a little bit. We're gonna have to strike that.
What do you mean? Yes, you removed it from the table because it was tabled at the meeting before that?
Got it. Removed from the previous, okay. I was confusing
Well,
myself.
maybe I should add removed from the table, comma, April, date.
Got it. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead, Stephen. I was thinking we put it on the table. That's what I was thinking as I was reading it. Okay. And then tabled March 25, yes. And then the next one, approved with removal of Fund 15, correct? And then January of 25 with removal of 25. Okay? Okay, great. Real acts. I still think we already had real acts, but that's fine. Okay. Okay. Great. It's just updates, right? Can you go up just a little bit? Landscape architect for a resign. Remind me, do we already have a landscape architect that had looked at the last meeting? Why does it say that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. You ready?
Yep.
Go for it.
What am I gonna do?
I thought you were going to motion that with the rewording.
Oh, yeah.
The consent agenda with the change that you made earlier.
For which one?
For the consent agenda, number 4,
Number 4.
consent agenda. It's all the minutes from
Oh,
A, B,
all
and
of
C.
them.
It puts them all together.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the entire consent agenda
With the
with
change
the change to, which one was that?
for
March 12th
C.
minutes, item 7B.
that,
March 12 meeting minutes, item 7B,
as noted.
as noted.
I second.
All in favor? Perfect. Passes. Cindy second.
Let's start with March financial. I think 2 of those from the date was wrong, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, the previous.
Okay, so this is not for any action to be taken, this is just for us to see. So let's see what March says. Okay, we can scroll on down. Local entertainment, okay. So he just removed Fund 15. Or is it up there and I missed it?
No, it's not there. It's not there.
Okay, that's one way to handle it.
Well, we struck it, right?
No, that was struck in January and February.
Then it came back.
So, no, we passed it with taking that Fund 15 off at the last meeting. But the reason we didn't pass March, April and May, or I guess April, because we weren't really to May yet, maybe we were, was because we didn't understand the funds from Fund 15, which I will, for park board purposes, read out to you all. I read these out to the city council meeting the Monday following our park board meeting, just for reference. I know this is part of the presentation that I'll present. The lines that I was questioning on Fund 15 were as follows. $2,270 listed in December of 2024 under community park projects. $39,029 in January of 2025 listed as Gamble Fall Zone. $10,000 made to Yazel Peebles in January of 2025 for community park projects. But I don't remember us having any park projects, so I was just asking what these funds are for. February of 2025, $7,910 under drainage for community park projects. And then in March of 2025, there was $14,690 to Belchiff and Associates for drainage, and $34,860, I think, to community park projects again. And then in April of 2025, there was an additional $10,345. So all of these projects that we don't really know what are total $102,124.
So, as I recall, all that stuff is like capital over here. It's, you know, the engineering for the drainage.
Sure,
You know,
probably.
yeah, capital expenses for, it's nothing that we're responsible for, I don't
Right.
think.
Well, we're not as a park board, which is why I presented to the council that if we're being given this fund that we've been getting, so Tanya Morrow was on the park board before she was a council member.
Okay.
And it's been on there since she was on the park board. And that's been before 2017 because she was here when I started in 2017.
Okay,
So if for the past 10 years, Park Fund 15 has been part of the park board, but we're not responsible for knowing about it, why is it on there?
don't disagree.
So I asked, do
Yeah.
we need Fund 15 or not? Why, as a park board who's being given this fund report to approve, because we were previously approving it, where's the money coming from? It's my tax money that's being used. Who's monitoring it?
Okay,
So my question was that. So I guess the response to that was to remove Park Fund 15 from our agenda,
So,
which is fine. I just wish they would have
That's
like
what-
so the
given me a
reason that
report.
it was on your budget is so that you could see what projects were going on in the park. But to answer your question, no, you don't approve them, and no, that is not a part of your budget that you work with. So, no, you don't need to approve it.
Right.
So the finance director removed it.
Right. But now my question is, without seeing it, there's another problem. Because now in Park Fund 15, that's where we get the money to pay for the playground. So now we don't know how much money's in there because you've taken it off of our budget. So now how do I know? Because for years we've been saying, oh yeah, let's look at this to see. So we need to see Park Fund 15 because then we know that's the fund we use to pay for the entire playground that we built and for the new swing set.
Which was still a capital project.
Well, great, but how do we know if we have any money to do anything again? We just ask city council, hey, can we get 500 grand? We don't know if we have it, we just want it.
Because it's not yours to approve anyway, it was just like to share the information.
Correct, but this line is not approved. This is report and presentation. So the fund then, we're not gonna motion to do anything. There's no action by the park board.
Right.
So we're not gonna say, hey, why are you spending money on the 4th of July? You're not giving us any way to say that now. Not you, but in general. This line doesn't allow us to say, we agree with that $3,375 from the Easter egg hunt, or we disagree. It's now just saying, we're telling you what we did, hope you like it.
That's basically correct, because it's money that's already spent.
So then why did Fund 15 come out of it? We still need to see where it is. That's park money that the park board uses to make suggestions to city council. So Park Fund 15 should still be included in a report and presentation if we're not making any motion.
Well, I will pass that information on.
Do you see what I'm saying?
well, so let me see if I understand
Okay,
this.
you help me.
Well, no, I'm
Oh.
gonna see if you can help me understand this. Okay, so
Okay.
this is a fund that we have no control over, right?
Right.
Apparently, we have no control over any of them.
Well, now, we're talking about this Fund 15, right? Okay, and that's where all these capital projects are coming out of, that the city's paid for, that we don't do. Okay, now, you mentioned the swing set, right?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, the way I understand the way this city works is that we can still do that, you know, present that project and send it to the city, and if they approve it and fund it, they approve it and fund it.
Correct. So historically, we've monitored the amount of money that's in that account. So
But-
when David used to sit here and come with us, he said, hey, you guys have got 300,000. The park on the other side is gonna need to be replaced next within 10 years. It's reaching its age of viability. We then knew that we wiped out the 300,000 to put the small park in. If you look at Fund 15, it's labeled a City Parks Improvement Fund. Who else can use that money but the city park? So if we're a recommending body, do you want my advice or not? So there's now an agenda, well, I don't know. Someone has to discuss this with council and decide if this is something they want us to consider or if we're a party planning committee. Because with all due respect, if we're a party planning committee, I'm bowing out. I'm not here to plan parties, I'm here to make
Well,
the
I
city
mean, that's
better.
mainly what we do.
Correct, but that includes making sure the park is in good repair.
Sure,
That when a
sure.
kid, if I'm gonna have a 4th of July event, if I'm gonna have a Memorial Day memorial event, and the memorial garden looks like trash, that's embarrassing.
Agreed.
And if I have no input on, you know what, we have $756,000 in resources that we can utilize now. We know a park structure costs about $300,000 to $500,000. We have that money. But if we didn't know we had that money, we wouldn't ask for it because we would just wait till the park fell apart or we could have more money. So if we're an advising body, then we should have access to the information.
So when they were showing this initially, didn't you
Yeah.
have heartburn with them showing it, putting it on there?
No, I had heartburn with them saying that we were approving $34,860 for someone to tell me we have a drainage problem.
Well,
We already know we have
how
the
are we
drainage problem.
approving it? I mean,
Because previously, on the previous park board agenda, the way the line item reads, it says, discuss, consider, hold on, let me tell you what it says. I was gonna get one that was previously written. Oh, that's the actual Memorial Garden. In previous meetings, it is listed as,
well, to nip this
here
in
it
the
is.
bud, I'm willing to go along with what you guys want to do. I just,
the previous wording
I mean, we either
was consider-
have it or we don't.
Discuss, consider, and act to approve the financial report.
Okay, yeah.
So it was worded, consider, act, and approve.
And approved, right, and that's where that.
That was where my
that's what-
problem was. I didn't want to approve something that I didn't approve of.
Okay,
But now my problem is I no longer have access to Fund 15. That's not what I was asking, right? I wasn't saying, don't only look at it. And now we don't discuss, consider, and act on this financial statement either? This is our park board fund that we have money for Christmas in the park and Easter egg hunt. And I am not picking on Katrina because she's not going to do this. But what if Katrina goes and buys a new Mercedes-Benz and says, oh, we spent $25,000 on movie in the park. It's done. You can't approve or disapprove.
we might kind of see that.
But do you see what I mean?
Well, kind of. I mean, I don't really care what they're doing with drainage in the park and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's way above my expertise.
Same. But why is that money coming out of, that's not my only question. Assessment and feasibility study, Gamble Fall Zone, community park project. There's just a big lump answer. So I'm not saying that we approve or disapprove. We asked for questions, where did this money go? And normally when we say, hey, Katrina, what was that 596 used for? And she just says, oh, well, I bought this and this. The numbers make sense, we move on. But when I asked, where did that $10,000 go? We had trouble getting an answer. And I've never had trouble getting an answer.
Okay.
In 10 years, 8 years of being on the park board, I've never encountered someone not being, maybe Katrina says, oh, I don't remember, let me get the receipt and I'll get back to you. Like we did with all the Christmas decorations, remember? I said, can we see the receipt from the Christmas decorations? Because it was like a $10,000 or $12,000 amount.
Yeah.
Katrina was like, yeah, I have it somewhere. And the next meeting, she had it all printed out. We knew exactly what Christmas decoration was that we had previously approved. There was no more question, no more discrepancy. We moved on. But this $102,000, that's a lot of money that I
don't disagree.
as a resident of Haslet, it's frustrating for me to be on a board that's just an advisory board. We're not a voting body.
So,
Well-
so what do we want?
Yeah, what is it? I mean, the last meeting I was at, the mayor was sitting over there and you asked him to take it off.
On the March and February. And then he told us at the next meeting, he would provide us a list of what those services were. And his response, it was what?
He emailed that out about the 34,000, I think it was. He
Yes,
sent
he
an email
did.
to the board with that explanation.
For $34,000. Well, there's still another $72,000 that I'm looking for. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's the same answer. Yeah.
So my
Okay.
question was to the city council is, if this is our responsibility to approve, let me know. Because we don't approve of things that we don't know what we're spending. If you guys are spending money on city council, what I'm afraid of, and I'm just gonna be completely honest, record me away. If one person is making decisions and doesn't have a checks and balance system, what's gonna happen to the money that I pay in my taxes are expensive, right? So the purpose of city and public meetings is so that you be held accountable for the actions. So if the mayor is making his own decisions without getting approval, that's not why he was voted into office. To be, an autocratic, autonomic nation, you don't just make decisions, there's some kind of, we don't just go and say, oh, we want to buy this. We vote amongst 4 or 5 of us, we say, yes, let's spend $450 on an axe throwing event. Sure, it seems astronomical, but 5 of us have agreed to that number. Who's checking to see that we're spending $34,000 and then $14,000 for what seems to be the same thing? There's a drainage problem. Well, they told us there's a drainage problem. Really? We would have never known there was a drainage problem, right? So unfortunately, my brain says, why do we need to know that there's a drainage problem from 3 different people?
Well,
Is something else going on? Do you see what I mean?
well,
I'm picking on
kind
the
of,
drainage
kind
problem.
of. Well, I mean, obviously we're from 2 different fields.
Of course.
So, but I see that perfectly reasonable because you got an engineering guy looking at it saying, okay, this is the problem. Then you got the guy who's going to come in and fix it saying, okay, that's your problem. Here's how much it's going to cost. And that engineering guy is costing money too.
Sure.
I mean, to me, that makes perfect sense.
But I think all she's saying is that we would like to have it explained.
Well, so.
And now we don't want it to
Now
be
we don't have
hidden
anything,
from us.
so.
Well, okay, so how do we go about having that explained? Who? Do we have the mayor here every?
No, we go to council and we ask them what they want, because I was advised by the attorney that we're an advisory board. We only can give what the council asks for.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the council doesn't sit around looking at our agenda, seeing what's been put on and taken off by the mayor. So traditionally, the chair or the vice chair in this particular board, anybody can submit an agenda item.
Right.
And council, so many people, you can submit one, I don't know, if 2 people have to do, I don't know how it works, it's different, but they're a voting
Sure.
group. So ours is different, right? So I don't care if I'm just an advisory board, you tell me what you want me to advise you on. Because when I'm presented with this fund that doesn't make sense, my advice is it doesn't make sense.
Just explain it to us. Yeah.
Okay, so we want the 15 put back on our financials so we can track it.
Correct, and I would like reports and presentations of our financial statement to go back to the way they were, because if there are financial statements for things that we voted on,
Then we
we
need
should
to
be able to
vote on that.
consider an act that that's an appropriate expenditure.
So what we'd like to see them have the financial statements be like they were before for us to vote on, and we could have
Fund
the
15 on it.
slide 15 for information purposes only.
Correct. But this is not a motion, this is just a report
A
and
discussion.
presentation. We're not even allowed to make a motion, but we can do what we want with this information and make a future agenda item for
Next meeting.
reports and presentations.
Okay, I was just going to add that in part of the question that you asked, I partial answer would be that the city council every year approves the overall budget as a whole. So whatever was in the fund for park improvements has been approved, and
Sure,
there
okay.
is detailed information. So down to the specific invoices after the fact, no, but the amount up front with a list of projects was approved.
Right,
Got it.
right.
I just think we need clarity on what they want us to, like, if that's the case, then we don't even need to do this financial statement. It's wasting our time. We're looking at it, we're trying to figure it out, it takes time, we're talking about it, we're saying, what's this line, what's that line? If you don't care, then,
I mean,
not
You are
you,
looking at after the fact.
right,
This money is spent.
right. So then who's gonna hold, no offense, you accountable for spending that money correctly? They're not gonna look at it. Are they gonna take over this event and confirm that? That would be great.
No, but they're gonna look at the budget numbers at the end of every year when they go into the next year. to fulfill all
What, my point is that $25,000 is a lot of money to just say that we spent it on Easter egg hunt. Right, so you got $25,000 to spend on Christmas in the park, maybe you only spent 5,000, the
So-
other 20,000 went in your pocket.
to wrap a bow around this thing,
Wrap it.
I agree with what Cindy just said. Have it come back on the budget as an information only.
The Fund 15.
Yeah, the Fund 15, as an information only.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to approve our financial statements every month,
Right.
approve or disapprove.
But that has nothing to do with approving or disapproving Fund 15.
No,
Okay,
correct.
then
That's what I would like to see.
okay, I think that's a great idea.
So how do we get that back to council?
Well, I wrote that down and I will discuss it with the finance director.
There you go.
Excellent.
Thank you, thank you. Okay,
So much for your short meeting.
I know. It's going faster now.
Okay.
All right, so thanks for showing us. I don't want to read them. If anyone else wants to read them, they can.
Good.
I mean, no offense, it doesn't help me. It's an informational thing and I don't get to say anything, so there's no point in me looking at it. It's free reign for whoever wants to spend the money.
Okay.
for this month, for this month.
Right, it's already spent for whatever, no offense to you,
Well, it's
Katrina, I'm
spent-
not picking on you, for whatever you say it was spent on.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
I don't distrust Katrina. I've known her for 8 years. She's not gonna do anything wrong.
No, but it certainly leaves the door open.
Right. Okay. We get to talk about the fireworks and Independence Day event on June the 27th.
All right, you should have a list of everything on your, the item
Did you ever get an application from the VFW
application. I did not,
for sponsorship? You did not? Okay.
no, or vendor, either, nothing.
I can only beg and plead so much for them. It's something they wanted. And the deadline's the 16th, right? For sponsorship stuff,
I think that's right without looking.
or to get a spot?
Yeah, right now I'm still waiting on Texas Health. They might want to, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I'll send them one more reminder to the VFW.
And you're paying for it, aren't you? But you,
Yeah, offered to pay for it.
maybe they're having trouble getting somebody to man it, who knows?
So I have a question about this Independence Day thing. The first one is really simple, but maybe not that serious. The amount changed from the previous number, was that just like a discrepancy? It's like $2. It was $18.29.21 for all of those tents and porticools, and now it's $18.93.
It was what?
$18.29.21, and now it's $18.93.85.
I can answer that.
Does that even matter? Just like a tax thing, maybe?
No, I can answer that.
Okay,
Originally, I had an invoice that had all of those items, plus, I think it had the Euro bungee included.
Uh-huh.
For one of the items, and she separated that into two, which I tried to notate there in those two heavier boxes.
Okay,
So that's two separate quotes, because they discount it. The more items you put on one, you get a discount off the top.
Okay.
It doesn't equate down to each line item. So
Okay.
it did change that number a little bit.
so that's the commercial tent and the porta-cool fan? That's not really,
Everything for the-
Oh, I see.
Obviously, fire department will be, charged for some of that.
so the other question is, why are we having 2 euro bungee stations? Did we choose that? Because we have it line item out at 1280, and then we have it included in the 3699.
Oh, yeah, that's bad math on my thing. Scratch the 1280 because it's in that combo one. Before you added the things at the last meeting, I already had it on the list.
You did.
I forgot to, yeah.
Okay,
Good catch.
Because it's better for us.
so we're going to reduce that 36,000 by $1,200.
And whatever was the name of the toddler bounce that you guys requested, they did not have it, and we subbed in, I think, farmyard bounce was our recommendation. I think y'all had asked for like a Noah's Ark, maybe, and they didn't have it.
We're gonna have plenty of stuff to do. Have we missed anything?
So we got a second train with this second number.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So we have the 2 portacools for the tents and then the 2 portacools just for the public.
Yeah, they were out on the basketball court, I believe, last year.
Oh, yeah, okay. Got it. So we're good for that. We don't need anything else.
I don't think so.
Who that's here is going to be there?
I will be there.
Okay. I was asked today how many people wanted walkie-talkies. And I said, well, Cindy, Dana, myself, Chuck, and Serge. That's who I counted on being there, so I was gonna see if I was incorrect in that guesstimate.
Nope, you were, well, I can't speak for
Well, we can't
Serge,
speak for Serge, who isn't here right now, but,
But-
okay. Okay,
I can text Serge and find out.
yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna have vendor.
Well, they're working on getting us
11 a.m.
walkie-talkies.
to 5 p.m.
Say that again?
Vendor setup is gonna be from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I thought we said 12.
No, it's up to 11. At first, now we had 10, now we met in the middle with 11.
Oh.
Are we gonna have that same parking area available to us? Up there,
The grass lot
yeah, right there at
By
the
the
very.
tennis court, parkboard parking.
for, I thought you meant, okay, I thought you meant on First Street by the little house. Yes, we're planning for that to be the same, and we're also planning for, vendor parking or whatever on the AT&T lot, we call it.
Oh,
grass
okay,
lot.
yeah, good.
You'll have to remind me how we parked on that, I was trying to draw a picture of it, but, and we expect to have that available, it just fills up really fast, and
And then all facing, Second Street.
is it 2 rows or 3? That fit on the grass.
Three full rows and one little one in the very back part,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't remember,
I can't remember
but I
either.
know that it was specific.
Okay. Dana, Cindy, Chuck.
As of this moment, I don't know of any volunteers.
What do we need them for?
Well, right now, you're gonna need some for these 2 inflatable that do not come with staff. And then we would like to have volunteers for the parking area and also volunteers at the entrances to the park with a clipboard with all the vendor names to only let in vendors all day, starting at, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. If we don't, people are gonna come in there and just park their car or whatever,
Right.
It will, yeah. Did, the
Amazon.
church that was doing the parking and the The big part of the parking, they don't want to do it?
Heritage Baptist Church.
Wedding, right?
Brother Crawford's son is getting married
Married.
that weekend, and they said, sorry, we're out on all counts of, yeah.
What about that church that comes at Easter?
I sent them an email. Last year I asked them on 4th of July, and they never even replied to the email. I guess they just like Easter, but I did send them an email, and we had really good response last year from that Amazon group.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the thing with Amazon, the same people are never still working there a year later.
Yeah.
But I tried, I mean, I did email them, and at least one email bounced back, so.
And don't we pay them the part, we donate or something for the parking?
No.
Oh, I thought that we did for
We did
Heritage.
discuss that once upon a time, a long time ago, but.
Okay. I was just thinking if there was some group that needed to earn some money, it would be a good thing for them to do for one day.
And we ran that past the attorney, I guess, a year or so ago, and we still didn't have any, you know, it didn't work out, because that was Heritage Baptist again.
Okay. And then fireworks are at 8.
No,
Oh,
about
it'd be
9:15.
about- yeah.
Oh, I'm way off.
9:15, 9:10, 9:20,
What's showtime, boss?
and it's a 20-minute fireworks show.
And the event's at 6.
The event starts at 6.
So do we need to take shifts from 11 to 5 between the four of
I
us?
think so.
11 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5. No, but who wants to be here from 11 to midnight? I thought we were starting at 12, so I had no intention of being here at 11, just so everyone knows.
Well, y'all can start at 12.
Full disclosure.
Yeah. Because I have, you know, a few people on staff that can help during the day that are already at work, so.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if we have to do the parking, we're gonna need at least 2 people over there,
Oh,
at least, just to
How
get
long do
them.
we have city staff?
Well, we'll have some city staff the whole time, but like I have maybe, Emily and Vista that work in the office will come and help at the event, but it'll be limited, you know. Like, they'll help during the day for sure.
But I mean,
But-
we don't get cities, can we utilize city staff to help vendors arrive and park and control that gate until 5? Like, is that their normal shift?
If we depend on the Public Works Department, they have to, you know, prioritize.
So-
And if they don't have anybody that is not doing other things,
So we just send the mayor an email and say, hey, we need Public Works to man the gate for the cars? What's the best way for us to utilize that possibility?
well, I would like to have some city staff not from Public Works, is what I'm saying.
I don't know what city staff we pay.
Access to that are not for public works. 2, 4,
About 2,
that's not gonna help us with parking.
that's not gonna help.
So in
But
a,
it might help during the day from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock.
so for a city event that we're paying for, it doesn't make sense that we couldn't utilize city staff that we're paying for to man those on their regular shift.
No, I'm saying everybody that is on the clock that day is working on this event.
Okay?
But they may be, I mean, last year, somebody was at Home Depot, somebody's hooking up water, somebody's delivering trash cans, some, you know, like, they have their priority list in order to get everything accomplished for the event. And this is down their list of.
Got it.
That's all I'm saying, is this is something we can do, park board members can help with. Y'all are not gonna go out and haul trash cans, so.
well, what time does it start?
6.
6. So we'll probably start parking at
I would say
4.
we're gonna,
Well, it's done by 5. By 5, I don't really want anybody else driving in the park.
No, I mean the actual public parking, not the
Oh,
vendor
right,
parking.
right, right, right.
Now, they'll start coming in at 10 in the morning
yeah.
to claim their spots.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking the public.
They will, the
Yeah,
public will
the
come and put
public.
their blankets out and their
Yeah.
coolers and their
Oh, they
chairs.
will?
Yes.
They'll be there all day.
Oh, I mean, good.
Not
Not
all
a
of them
lot,
will
but
be,
several will come.
Yeah.
but I would
Yeah.
think at least by 3 o'clock, we're going to have a park full of people. So if we have to man the parking, we need to be over there at the very latest 2:30, and plan to be there until at least 5.
So I can do 1 to 3 and then come back at 5.
If we can get somebody, get Public Works to work the parking lot, 2 people that are designated parking lot, you think that would happen?
From 6 to, or
Whatever they're working, their shift that they're working. Are they working all day?
so we need.
Yeah, what are their hours, do you know?
Well, I mean, they're here 7:30 a.m. till midnight.
Okay. So they're on the clock already. Let's say, what time do you think they'll start? People are really, 3 o'clock?
I mean, if we had it lined
2 or 3?
up, it's a little bit still.
Well, they'll only be able to start parking once we open up the gate, right?
Oh, we'll have that
The
open.
gate will be open.
It'll be open all day. Because vendors can only park 1 car over there at AT&T. So if they have other people working with them or for them, they have to park over there anyway. So we need to get it established where the cars can park, and then the cars can continue doing those rows. But-
Well, is Public Works going to set up the parking area?
Yes, with the
Yeah, they'll have the
With the
flags
flags.
out. But it's just really just a barrier that just goes around. You need somebody that's going to say, okay, this row's full, you need to start another row and come over here. If you don't, they'll be all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to
And then
be,
people can't get in or out.
needs to be laid out so we know, I mean, if I'm over there helping people park, I need to know where those delineations are,
Right.
you know?
Okay, I'm gonna make a note, talk to James and, figure it out.
And unless we get some volunteers.
Well, and I can come up at 2.
I'll be there at 1.
I'll be there at 11. Somebody's got to be there to help set up the vendors.
Dana, 11.
I'll be here all day.
Chuck, what's the thing?
I'll be there at 1. I'll probably be there all day.
1 p.m. Mm-hmm. Thank you, and what'd you say, Cindy? I didn't write you.
I'll come at 1, and then I'll probably take a break.
The vendors are the biggest issue because there's always a problem. One
Always.
of them won't like where they're at, and one of them, so you have to have somebody there.
But Katrina and 2 of her people will be there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And marking the spots. Katrina, I'll come up and help you mark the spots again.
Okay, thank you, we'll do that tonight before. And put all the little flags out, you still have flags? I mean, the little, decoration flags? Not the big one.
We can't provide any big flags?
No, we'll put out the big flags. We'll put those out Friday morning.
Okay, call me.
Yeah. Which little flags are you talking about?
That I gave you for Memorial Day, and I know you didn't get to use them.
If you
In a
gave them to me, I've got them.
The little handheld ones.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, they're in the bag with the thing that you gave me. Table. The last match.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I have them all together.
So we need volunteers. The rest of it's good. So if anyone hears of any volunteers between now and then.
We're going to need somebody up at the gate to let the vendors in. Oh, we did this last year. I don't know why we're having such a hard time this year. Yeah, to make sure that the vendors,
And absolutely
Nobody
nobody
else
in
comes
after
in.
5. Nobody. I don't care if their moms can't walk.
And I'm pretty sure Public Works did that last year.
They did help some, and then we had some volunteers that helped, so that was good. But
And then Cindy and I went up there, I know. I remember.
I did it for a
we
little
were
bit.
having to do that too.
I was on that backside for a little bit.
But I think last year, because you guys were there and doing that, it went better than the year before with, everybody just dropping in, dropping out.
Yeah.
We were sitting there.
No more pressure for 12.
Okay. Movie in the park, September 19th, 2025. We have a movie, we have a time, we have I don't know what else we need.
No?
We just buy the DVD closer to the time, right?
I'm sorry, say
The DVD, we just get it whenever it's closer to the time and then give it to the library. Or we can ask the library if they already have it.
Can we go back for a minute?
Sure.
What time's the band arriving?
4 o'clock load in time.
4 o'clock?
So they
And we're
are
gonna-
going to, we've given them, I guess, our plan. The plan is so that they will drive, in between on the sidewalk behind the stage. And they said they're gonna have one minivan with all the equipment in it, and they'll leave it parked there and unload from there.
Okay.
He said their load-in schedule is for 4 o'clock.
And we're gonna have, waters over there for them, somebody buying waters and ice chests and,
We'll have that at our booth as well,
okay.
and probably one over in the event parking area.
And did y'all decide, I know at the meeting I went to, they were talking about, food for the workers. How are you gonna do that? Did y'all make a
Oh, yeah,
decision
they
on
talked about
that?
that today. I listened in on their meeting today. I don't know if they decided. Did they decide, Katrina, catering versus trying a ticket or something? So I'll tell y'all what they discussed. Who is the guy with the mustache?
His name is Garrett, he's our.
Oh,
emergency
I do know who that is.
coordinator.
I couldn't tell who he was on the video. Anyways, he was asking to make it easier if, we get lunches, like those box lunches. Well, last year I mentioned that it was kind of a little bit difficult to get them all shoved into the coolers and then close the coolers and then keep them cool. And it was fine. It wasn't really bad, but we might need another cooler, right? Or two. And his suggestion was a ticket. Like, instead of buying a box lunch from Jason's Deli, buy a ticket from Kidwell's. Then you give the staff member the ticket, and when they get a chance, they can go to Kidwell's.
That's a great idea.
And I think it was James maybe that said, but then they have to wait in line. So if we had an agreement with a particular vendor, if we have an updated vendor list, on the last one, we had Egg Stand, JBW, Tom's Coffee, Mission Burgers, Are You Thirsty, G's Brunch Truck. I don't know, Kidwell's is fine, because it,
Well, I think if they're using Kidwell's, pick somebody different just to spread the love and keep the line down, but.
We ought to use the guy that we had for the Easter egg hunt.
who's that? Oh, the smoking guy?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be there?
I believe so.
Calhoun's Country Smoke is
Yep.
their name.
Yeah, maybe call him and ask him what, I don't know, can we do that? Can we have ours separate from theirs?
So they, like, you heard him say open tab, what did he say, open tab or something?
No open tab. You get a ticket and you get whatever's included in that ticket, right?
So what would you like that to include, I guess?
What do they have? I actually didn't look at them during
He
Easter.
has- You name it, barbecue, he has it.
I mean, maybe just like up to 10,
Barbecue sandwich,
okay?
you can pick whether you want pulled pork or whatever,
Or beef,
Or
yeah,
beef.
or brisket, yeah.
and.
And chips and a drink.
Chips and a drink.
Yeah.
Chips and a
There you
drink.
go. And then maybe since we're pre-buying with them, let them know, hey, we're gonna need 10 of these throughout the day. Can we just knock on the side door? Or is there a way for us to text you when we're ready for it? So that we're not waiting in line.
I bet he'll do.
I bet you that they're not gonna say, no, you can't buy 10
No,
meals.
He was excited that there was all these events that we had when I talked to him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just ask him, would it be okay? Do you have a way that we could text you when we're ready and then we'll come over with our ticket or whatever?
But it'll be, it's not gonna be all at one time.
Of course.
Like,
Right.
everybody,
Yeah,
But as long as they have the ticket, I'm sure we can work it out, and we used to do that during while we're.
I think for us, it's not as important. I don't mind to wait in line. I mean, I know the staff doesn't have as much time, but maybe let them know if they're gonna do that with Kidwells, to ask them if they can have like a sideline or something for the staff. For us, it doesn't, we're not, I don't think we're pressing to go to the next thing.
That's something that you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the uniform of the day, by the way?
Blue, the blue shirt, right?
Absolutely, but
Serge is out of town for the event, by the way.
Huh, he owes me a beer.
He might owe you two after this. He said he's got several weddings. I was asking him to remind me. I couldn't remember if he had said that he was gonna be here or not. He will not. Okay,
oh, who else is missing? Matt, right?
Matt, yeah.
they probably have things to do with their kids.
Well,
I mean, I'll ask him, I'll text him.
yeah, I mean, you know,
You can take now. His boys aren't old.
His boys are still little.
Cars, are they?
Mm-mm, no. I don't even know if I would trust my boy, who's about to be 15, to park a car.
He'd be okay working with me.
Yeah, Nathan would be fine if I can get him out of the house. All right. We good?
I think we can move on. As far as the music goes, we're just gonna
Oh, yeah, do we have the soundtrack?
just wing it.
Oh, I think they'll have it back to us, you know, before then.
Okay.
I think we'll have time for, you know, to email it to you guys.
Uh-huh, okay.
Yeah, how much editing will they, I don't know.
Yeah. Just want to make sure they didn't have a few songs on there, like Martina McBride's song, because that's not about 4th of July. But,
And of course, we are supposed to run all of the music through our licensing agreements. And David usually helps me out with that and logs in and checks all those, so.
Out of town. Out of town.
who is Kyle's out of town?
I'm a nerd. I plan my vacations around park board events, so.
So we got 4 people running it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
we got it.
Stephanie is here pending results from their tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, remind me what you guys told me. I felt like they told me, but I couldn't remember. So she said, yes, that they have a baseball tournament. And so she's around, but if they're in a game, for example, she might be late or not.
Sure.
So she can't really commit just yet because she doesn't know what they're, maybe they lose or maybe they win them all. So, okay. Good? Music? Perfect. So, movie in the park is happening. Let's just go to Christmas in the park. We have there's a form there, if everyone has that. There's a slide, 10-foot slide with a snow area for a hay slide, Santa Heath, DJ Alex, Real Axed, Party Magic, tents, Euro Bungee, Christmas slide, trackless train, face painting, toy soldiers, hay bales, sheriff's department. We haven't voted for that, have we? Did we motion for the officers for Christmas?
Yeah, I think we did.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think we did too.
Okay, if we did, then no worries.
We need like, anything.
Well, I bought some last year. They're on the shelf in there. I don't know about that.
They're fine.
They're probably still good. We'll test them.
They're in plastic.
I did grab a quote for Noah's Ark petting zoo. The ranch is a little bit bigger one, and it's $6.95 for 4 hours, and the barnyard is a little bit smaller one, $5.95 for 4 hours. And we can look on their website if you need to know what animals that includes, 'cause I don't remember.
Did we take T-shirts off of the vendor form for this year? Remember we talked about just taking off T-shirts and not listing it? Because last year we had to buy them because they were listed. Isn't that what we said? Anybody? I remember that. I remember us trying to nix the T-shirts because we just end up with extras and then throw them out at 4th of July. Nobody buys them except for the 3 people.
We got a bunch of shirts over there right now, throw
Yep.
It's not too late, we can come in.
Do we, do you guys want to take it off and not worry about shirts?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I still have one.
I have 7.
I have a box of 2024, if you want.
Okay.
They don't have a year. in
What
it.
color are they? Are they red?
The red.
I'll take a red one. I like the white one. I like that gray one. Remember the heather one that we had? It was a long sleeve heather, I think. That was my favorite.
Remove it from the sponsor form.
Yes. And if we decide later we want to buy them, it's fine. I just don't want to be obligated to buy them because they're on the sponsor form.
Right.
Right.
If anyone's listening to our meeting and you really, really want us to buy T-shirts, please let us know.
I think the smaller.
This is Cindy. I think the smaller petting zoo would be just fine.
I don't like animals. I have no input. I vote with whatever the group says.
You don't want a petting zoo? Don't care.
No, right, I don't care. I'll vote with whatever you guys say.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Well, we've got plenty of stuff for them to do,
I
so.
don't like animals, so that's just me, but I know kids do. I feel like it's pretty popular.
There were a lot of, especially the younger ones that
Didn't
seem
we
to
have
be
like a
enjoying
camel or
it.
something one time? I thought we had a camel or something.
We did, but they're very expensive.
I know we've had a reindeer.
Yeah, we did one year.
I thought we had a camel once.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a llama.
Might have been.
Obviously, I love animals.
Got me.
Could we just hire your llamas? Oh,
Bring them. There's our petting zoo.
you can rope my cows and stick them in the back of your truck and bring them down. Small or big?
But let's just do the smaller one.
Okay. So,
This is Cindy. I'd like to make a motion that we do the smaller petting zoo for Christmas in the park,
It's called the barnyard.
the barnyard.
I'll second this, Chuck.
Thank you.
all in favor? None opposed? I don't think so.
We need to order some
Christmas lights?
Christmas decorations, but we don't do that now.
Okay. Anything else that's pressing for Christmas, Katrina?
Not that I'm aware of.
Awesome. Now, we are going to discuss, consider, and act to make a recommendation to the city budget officer regarding the 2025-26 proposed park board budget. I would just like to table it until we find out if it even matters.
What's the total that we got for Independence Day? Was it 40,000?
It's 45. Hold on, I'll look. As soon as I find that piece of paper again. 45.
And right now we're at 36, 148.
Yes, just keep in mind that a little bit of that expense will go to the fire department for the tent, for their tent. Right. And some things like, this is all totaled on this list, but things like the promotional beach ball actually came out of your advertising budget, so it's not out of the 45.
On the live tree fund? The live tree fund, you know, and we're having to replace those that died out there, and that's gonna be more than $500. Is that what,
That's the actual. It's 1,500, but
1,500?
if you've seen the tree prices that come to my mailbox, it's like 3,000 a tree. Maybe we need smaller trees.
That,
Yeah, you don't have to buy that size.
I mean, I bought a pear tree for $35 once, but it didn't grow. Looks like a bush in my
But
backyard.
my son and daughter-in-law just bought some trees for their yard, and they ranged anywhere from $500 to $1,200. So it depends on the size of the tree, how old it is, and how big a hole they have to dig. But I'd like us to table this until next meeting.
Same.
Okay, let me just point out that you guys usually cancel your July meeting, and the budget has to be published in July. So are you gonna have a meeting next month?
Well, that's a good question.
It
because
has to be
would my
published in
suggestion.
July?
It has to be submitted in July, yes. I checked in with the finance director before I left today. She said we could call her if we had any questions.
I'm actually going to be here July 9th this time, so I don't have any reason to cancel it.
Okay, I'll be here.
You gonna be here, Dana?
yeah.
Do
There
we
we
need to
go.
cancel July 9th or just make it a budget meeting?
We'll do July.
We'll do July 9th as the budget meeting.
Pardon me?
We'll do July 9th as the park board budget meeting. All right, so we have a motion on the table to, wow. We have a motion on the table to table action item number 7 until next meeting.
And this, who made the motion?
Cindy?
Thank you, okay. Now, she's gonna ask me why we tabled it. What can I tell her?
Because we don't want to talk about it?
Can we also get copies of this prior to the meeting so that we can all look at it and then we can discuss it for the meeting?
She emails it in the packet.
Pardon me?
It comes in the packet when she sends out the email with the agenda on it.
I know, but I don't have a printer that works.
Oh, I see. Cindy wants to know if she can come by and pick up a printed copy from you.
Sure.
Okay. Our reason is that we don't know where we stand exactly until city council clarifies what our purpose of reading the, remember, whole item,
Fund 15.
line item number 5 with Fund 15 and we don't have any actionable item on our financial statement, so I don't know what our purpose is to review this budget. If we're not going to see the financial statement or be able to discuss it, I don't see the purpose of reviewing this. It all goes together. We either talk about it or we don't talk about it.
And act on it or not act.
Or act, yeah.
Okay, don't see the purpose of reviewing because,
We don't know where we stand as far as what is being asked of us as the recommending body. So on line item number 5, it was changed to reports and presentations regarding our financial statement. So if we have no input on our financial statement, I don't see the relevance of the input to the budget. Unless somebody else does. I mean, from the council members that I've spoken to, they would like us to review those, so we just have to wait to see what they say. I don't think it's a problem, I just think we need clarification.
And this is not what we asked for, to have them become informational only.
It's fine.
was there a second?
I can.
I'll second.
Chuck.
Chuck.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed? All right, number 8, we have some active item I don't know what this means, but updates on projects. I think that's just supposed to say updates on some stuff from Chuck that are listed here below. Memorial Day event, the
We can make this quick then.
VFW events. I believe that Chuck has
Yeah.
a presentation for us on things that he's found out.
Well, B and C are kind of the same, all in the same little thing. But let's talk about the Memorial Day event. That was
Yes.
probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was cancel that thing. I want to thank Cindy and the mayor for helping me notify all the participants.
Nice.
Because that was a nightmare. And in hindsight, as I was leaving after canceling, and I looked at the pavilion, the basketball courts, I thought,
We could have just moved.
we could have just moved it there. So from now on, that will be Plan B.
Okay.
That'll be written into the plan that if it rains on Memorial Day, we will move it under the pavilion at the basketball courts. So that's, and we will. Yeah, I know, it never did. Lucky me, yeah. And
Thank you for doing that.
we also need a contact list of all the participants, so if this happens again, then instead of me bothering the heck out of Cindy and the mayor and everybody else,
Or scrambling.
I can just go down the list and make the call. Sir?
So today's meeting, that was why Garrett was in there. We are taking all the city events and we're putting them into event action plans, just like the FEMA things the fire department does for major incidents. We'll do it for city events, and that's what Garrett is, as emergency manager, is coordinating. So we'll have forms that we're going to ask y'all to fill out with those phone numbers for all of these types of events
So
when
for
they
every
happen.
event. Yeah.
That's the plan, and that's the goal that we are striving for.
Great.
That's good, perfect sense.
Are we going to have access, this may be too early to ask, but like, you know how people can send out texts? So where you can manually enter in all the phone numbers that are associated with the event, so you send out one text from the internet and it goes to everybody on that text group? That kind of
We-
emergency management thing?
We are working towards those
Got it.
softwares and things that do it. They're not in the budget as of yet.
Oh, I see. I'm getting fancy over here.
So two other things I'd like to mention on Memorial Day. One, I'd like to ask Cindy to be the co-lead with me again next year. And we have our speaker lined up. My son-in-law saved his speech, so
Good.
he'll be doing it for us next year.
And I'd be glad to, thank you.
Okay, 8B and C. I went down to the VFW a couple Thursdays ago and met with their leadership team. And they were, the initial meeting was supposed to be about what can we do for Veterans Day, but it kind of morphed into how can they become more active participants in the city of Haslet's activities.
And remind me what VFW stands for.
Veterans of Foreign War.
Veterans Forevermore?
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Foreign War.
Yes,
Okay.
you have to be a combat veteran to be a member of the VFW. So, and it's a pretty big organization. Well, it's a national organization, but anyway. So they want to be involved, and they were supposed to. I sent the application to them to set up a booth here, and I volunteered to pay for it, and obviously we haven't heard from them, so I'll hit them again tomorrow and ask them. But they brought up Toys for Tots at Christmas in the Park, setting up with us at National Night Out, that kind of thing. So they want to become more involved with the city of Haslet.
Does the fire department usually do Toys for Tots? Do y'all do Toys for Tots?
Our food drive.
Yeah, they do the food drive.
Uses Community Link, they'll accept toys and so.
So I ran that past Kurt, I couldn't get you that day, but I wanted to make sure that we weren't like stepping on toes, and he said, no, they would welcome the help and be glad to work with them. They mostly do the food drive, I believe, and,
Right, they come around the neighborhoods and,
Right.
yeah,
When the fire truck drives through Haslet, what do they pick up?
food, typically food, yeah.
You can see I participated.
You just put it right up there by the mailbox and they come by and pick it up. So anyway, So I'm going to keep coordinating with them and we'll see. But I would also, if we can figure out a way to join hands with them for Veterans Day, how do we go about, or can we expense funds to them, or to the event? How do we team up with another organization? Can we?
Well,
Say it again, the fund.
Okay.
I think, well, first of all, we have to make a new event. We're, just like we did Memorial Day.
Right.
So we would have to make a suggestion that we're going to celebrate Veterans Day on Veterans Day or whatever it is. And I don't know that teaming up with them, but making sure that they're included in it would be the way I would put it.
Well,
Unless they want to have the
they want it
Veterans
to be a
Day.
partnership
In what way do they want to participate?
with the city of Haslet, with the park board. I mean,
I mean, more so than they do on Memorial Day?
oh, yeah, yeah, a lot more.
volunteering?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just volunteers.
Well, no, they want the VFW to be a major part of it.
I have an answer for that.
Sure.
Give me 1 second, I'll give you the wording on it.
Are we on B still? Memorial Day?
Yes, we're on
We're on BC.
BC together. So in our bylaws, we actually have the ability to make a board that partners with us. You just have to remember how it's worded and where it's worded at.
That's in our bylaws.
Generally enlist community interest by encouraging individuals and citizen groups to give funds, property, and manpower for the development and operation of the parks and recreation facilities. So we are responsible for doing that, so partnering with them is not a problem. But I believe there is a name chairperson, special meetings. Special committees, it's under committees. Special committees may be appointed by order of the board chairperson as the need arises. Such committees shall not necessarily be restricted to members of the board. However, the chairperson of said special committee shall be a member of the board. So what we would need to do is appoint you as the chairperson. Wait. We would appoint you as the chairperson of the special committee, and then you could have whatever you wanted in that committee, and that would be the partnership with that group because they're part of that committee.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
See if there's at least one or two of them that wouldn't mind meeting with us on a fairly regular basis.
Well, I
And-
mean, they offered to come tonight, but
Yeah.
I told them until we figure out
What we need to do,
what
yeah.
we need to do,
No, I
that,
think it would be great to have,
but I mean,
what would you want the committee to be? We just have to decide. the
Well,
committee and-
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
We need to figure out what the event would be. I don't know whether it's something like Memorial Day. I don't know if I don't know.
Veterans Day is in November, correct?
Yes.
About the 12th or 14th, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So our biggest need is volunteers, parking, manning gates, just showing up and helping us with things. And I think it would be kind of cool to have a VFW committee. Are you considered a member of VFW
I
yourself?
am not. I am
Okay.
not a combat vet.
So if we called it something, not that, but we had a, what was it, Friends? We tried that Friends of the Library, but we had a Friends of the Park Board and it didn't ever pan out. But we could do something like that, where it's a service committee partnership with the VFW.
Well,
That
I
group
will commit
committee
to talk
is-
to them more.
Yes, and find out what they would like to do. I think we would love to have them help us with all of our events. And then when
If
it
that's
comes
what they
time
like
for
to do,
Memorial and
yeah.
Veterans Day, be much more active because we have a pseudo, we'll do it again, we have a committee for the memorial event.
Right.
But by giving you a committee, I mean, it doesn't have to be you, but if you'd like to, giving you a committee that lets them be partnered volunteers for whatever you need that to be, as a member of the park board, you have more reign in how you partner with them
Right.
as well, and they can really do anything.
So I'll meet with them again and find out more, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Right now, I told them that they could be a sponsored booth at any of our events,
Right.
just like anybody else. So, okay, thank you.
But if they were part of the committee, I mean, we don't pay for our own booths. If the park board has a booth, so they wouldn't pay for their booth either. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
if they're part of our committee,
I would just be careful because 10 more places might want to have a committee as well.
oh, I see. Yeah, well, if you show up and you work, but if you say you're gonna do something like, you know, move fences for the ball field and then you never show up, your favor runs out. Heard that a couple of times in 8 years. I mean, I don't think that that's what they're gonna do. I think if they're gonna help, you know.
Well,
And we need to find out exactly what they're willing to do and what they
Yes.
really want.
right,
Yes.
yeah, I wasn't talking to them as them being volunteers for events right now. We were talking about them being, they want to be more visible in the community, you know, because, I mean, they're recruiting, you know, and it's a small group of folks who are still alive that are combat vets, you know, so. And they do a lot of charity work with the Boy Scouts already. So-
Well, and I think it would be interesting for us if we had a board and a couple of them came regularly to get to know some of them personally,
Sure.
where we could see what they want to do too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'll talk to them some more
Okay.
and get a general idea of what they want, and then I'll invite them to come either in July or August.
And I think it'd be real easy to have them have a partner, not necessarily a partnership, but a booth for Toys for Tots at the Christmas
Right.
event.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, makes sense. We'd have to advertise it, but we could do that on the
Yep.
website, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, right now on our Christmas flyer, you know, it has a fire department, you know, will be collecting at the event if you would like, to, you know, it's on there.
So if
And
they're
as far as-
interested in that, we should do it quickly so we can update the flyer.
I will talk to them this
Okay.
week.
And as far as the Memorial Day thing too, do you have any update from the mayor on a landscape architect? Has somebody
Oh,
come
I was gonna
out?
hit that up. Can I hit it up now and just get it out of the way?
Yeah, 9C.
Okay. So this is 9C, Katrina.
9C.
9C.
9C. We had another landscape architect come out that we met with. I think I told you guys that. And she looked at it, had some really good ideas, but then a couple days later declined. I'm kind of concerned that the project may be too small. So the mayor contacted me today, and we have another one coming out. And if this one goes the same way, then we may want to go back to Plan A.
What are they declining for?
Because I don't think it's a big enough job for them, money-wise.
Their money, their time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a small project for them.
Yeah, I mean, these people do the landscape architect for the buildings downtown, you know? Yeah, in cities and stuff. And they went up and looked at the fire department too, but she declined us. I think she declined everything in the city of Haslet. So we'll give one more shot, and then we'll revisit and figure out what we want to do. We may just go back to, well, I'm not going to say that. We'll just figure it out.
Excellent. Anything else about the Memorial Garden? Was it looking good before the mud?
They had it looking really nice. They did a really nice job. I ran into James the night before at a sushi restaurant and told him what a good job his folks did on that. I mean,
Good.
it was looking really good. Not so good after the rain, but looking really good the day before.
Is there anything we can do to help mitigate that? Like a different kind of bark or, I don't know.
It needs to be tore up.
Okay. All right, fair. All right, discussion regarding any updates in city parks. I don't know if you guys have that, Katrina, or if we just have it on there for looks.
You know, it was the same update that was provided the last 2 months, as there is an ongoing project in the park that is not going to be completed for a couple more months, but I don't have any intermediate updates.
I was gonna mention that Stephanie had messaged me earlier, I don't know, June-ish, about the benches having shade at the tennis court.
It does have shade.
And she said that she didn't realize that it had gone up, so I'm not sure how long it's been there, but we now have shaded
Well,
benches.
we noticed it when we were down there taking the flags down.
Looks good.
So sometime in the past month or so, those got put up,
Yeah,
I guess.
looks good.
Yes, yes, it did. I can't tell you the exact date, but yes. They took a long time to arrive. So I'm surprised nobody's asked about the broken slide in Gamble Park, also on back order, and it's taking forever.
Go ahead.
I was at the community park, and actually a citizen pointed it out, but the volleyball net is broken. The crank doesn't work on the pole, and there's also a hook on the pole that's busted off. And so people have just tied their own string up there to pull the net across. And I think we need to have that volleyball net system looked at and maybe replaced, the net, and then the pole repaired.
Okay, we'll send that over to the Public Works Department.
Did they get the new sand put in there?
The sand looked good.
Okay, good.
The sand was good.
And did they get the boundaries either painted or
Smooth it out.
No
they were going to do
boundaries.
something with the boundaries?
Yeah, he said he was gonna level it out, because I asked that specifically to the mayor, and he said, yeah, they're taking care of that, they're gonna level it out. When that young lady presented the project, she had mentioned that the edges were a little bit choppy.
Okay.
And he said, I haven't been there to see it, so, did you notice?
It looked good. I know there's usually, if you go to any other park, there is a wide tape, like a strap. That's the boundary line that goes all the way around the courts. But our courts are smaller than regulation court,
Oh, really?
and so I don't know that would be beneficial or not out there.
Oh, I didn't know it was smaller than regulation.
Just don't have, it's not enough room on the sides.
And I think because of that, they were not going to install the boundaries.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, any future agenda items?
Oh, any word on the water fountains for community park? Does anybody know?
It's been ordered.
Been ordered?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just put it down if we need an update.
Okay.
I don't know, does this go under Memorial Garden? Can we talk about flags under the Veterans Memorial Garden?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. As, we need to order more flags. We, fixed the ones that were torn. Matter of fact, I've got them in my car, and we replaced 8 that were torn flags, but we have 10 poles that do not have a flag. So we can order 10 more flags, and we've got the poles already. They just need to be drilled and the hardware put on. But the flags are $25. I had Katrina look it up.
It's not just, doesn't that come out of city signs funding?
$25.49 per flag. The same ones we ordered last time. That are made a little bit better than the ones that are tearing up right now.
So could we put that under the action item for 6A for the Independence Day event, that we get those ask to have those flags replaced with the city signs budget?
I think that works.
Good idea.
Because that is truly why we.
Right, that's why we want them.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got 10 poles that are empty, that we can fill up, and then we probably need to get a couple of extra for some that,
That will be torn up.
yeah.
Because they're wearing out pretty fast.
Any
Oh,
other
Katrina
future agenda
mentioned those flags.
Any future agenda item? Do you want
For
an
the big
action item
poles.
on any of those?
The flags she had?
No,
Okay,
not at this time.
I'd say
Okay.
it doesn't.
yeah.
There's no action.
I mean,
'Cause there's
discuss,
gonna be
consider,
that
and act
many at
forming a
least that we
committee
have to
for
replace eventually.
future board use.
Do, can we make a motion tonight, Katrina, or does that have to be a future agenda item?
Okay, okay, fair,
I'm very disappointed that.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion
okay, okay.
that we purchase 12 flags out of our decoration and
City signs.
city signs to replace the ones that are wearing out.
Says Dana, I second the motion.
All in favor of flags, none opposed.
And that was for how many flags?
12.
3 by 5.
Good?
Okay. Back to future agenda items, an update on the water fountain and what else was there? That's all I wrote.
Further clarification on the state financial statements?
Do we need to put the volleyball net on there? In the poles?
Update on volleyball net
Yeah, in the standards.
replacement.
The poles.
That can just be part of an update. Usually they just fix it, I think, and then.
Right, that's what I expect will happen.
But if we just put an update, then we'll know that it did or didn't get done. I don't got anything
And I just
else.
want to back up and clarify that I got everything that Chuck said for 8B, partnering with the Fort Worth VFW for future Memorial Day events. Discussion was held regarding establishing a committee for a partnership, is that correct?
Yes.
And then the next one for Toys for Tots, you said you're gonna check with them again, and we held a discussion, and
Do you want to make that an action item for next time in case they do want to be active with Toys for Tots?
Yes.
Okay.
And-
So we will add a future agenda item to discuss the VFW having a Toys for Tots section at the Christmas in the Park.
you mean like separate than vendor booth?
Yes. Like we would put them on our flyer like we do for the fire department.
And I'd like to see us put a discussion of a Veterans Day event in the future.
Discussion of future veterans events, or
Veterans Day.
the 2026 event?
Just future Veterans Day event.
It would be a 2026, because that would be in November, so that would be the next
Yeah, it'd be the new fiscal year.
For the ticketed meals, do we need to make a,
I think the city does it.
is this,
It's just city.
okay. Do they need a number, how many?
It's just the four of us. 4.
Or because it's gonna be.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And it will include public works employees.
Right.
It'll be,
Do we feed any of the volunteers, or
Yes, if we have any.
we never
we
have,
have it? Okay,
Oh,
that might be an enticement.
it might be. But you
yeah, maybe Nathan would come if he got a free burger.
I mean, we only ask them to come for 2-hour shifts normally because of the heat and.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, we don't.
And we want them to come back.
Good?
Think so.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Adjourn 7:37.